So before we start our evening class, we do a little bit silence meditation to reconnect our consciousness and reconnect our awareness. So we just be aware with our breathing and try to keep our mind calm and relax the body. So we focus on our breath. Okay, so continuously we take refuge to Buddha, Dharma and Sangha and generate the mind of bodhicitta. Sa ye judan so ye chonam la chanju pardo dane gyatsu che da ye chujin yebe chonam ye rola penjere sanje ndubara sho. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the virtuous merit created by listening to the Dharma, may I attain the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Sangha. By the virtuous merit created by listening to the Dharma, may I attain the state of a Buddha in order to benefit all beings. Okay, now we will offer one short mandala. This ground are anointed with the perfumes, deepened with the flowers, Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine as a Buddha land and offer to you. May all beings enjoy in this pure land. Idam Guru Rama Mandala Niyataya Me. Okay, so we are today our teaching is dependent origination. So the dependent origination, as Shantideva said, okay, before what Shantideva said, so the vision of emptiness, of vision of dependent origination, it's the vision. It makes us our mind clear and equanimity, without any judgment and discriminations. So even there is a big differences between samsara and nirvana, and between ordinary beings and enlightenment beings. But this differences is only conventionally differences. When we see through the ultimate, there is nothing which is higher and which is lower, which is good and which is bad. How it happens, as Shantideva said, as Shantideva said, and Bodhisattva Charabhadra, in the chapter of wisdom, he says, although it's 150 verses, it's not in the text we are following, it's the text in Bodhisattva Charyavatara, the Bodhisattva way of life, the wisdom chapter. He says, although sentient beings appear, they are not truly existent, just like a dream. And since they are found to have no essence upon analysis, they are also like a plantain tree. Therefore, in their being, empty of true existence, there is no differences between the state beyond sorrow, nirvana, and the state not beyond sorrow, cyclic existence. So that's why it's as also, right now, many of us, we are stuck somewhere between good and bad. Also, Chandrakirti, he said, this stupid person do bad things and they go to the lower realms. Same stupid person do good things and they go to heaven. Meanwhile, the wise man, he go beyond the good and bad and go beyond the good and bad and go to nirvana. So what's the point? And the point is all our migrant, all of us, migrant beings. It's not born ultimately, not born inherently. We don't born intrinsically. We just born dependent. Right? We don't seize ourselves ultimately or intrinsically. And the nature of our existence, it's it's free of complex. It's empty. It's always, how to say, luminosity. So that's why it's both the samsara and nirvana, or both peace and conflict, both are equally empty of inherent existence from ultimate point of view. So that's why we see all of us, we see like our existence is inherent existence and true existence. But reality, it's like it's like a dream. We see something, but actually it's reality. There's no. There's, I would say, there's no any coincidence. There's no any, how to say, what we see and what is reality is totally different. We see in dream, we see the object of dream as a true existence, but reality, there is no. It's in object of a dream. It's just a mental reflection, mental object. So that's why, if we analyze through, deep analyzed, and we only everything is like a banana tree, like a banana tree. Banana tree apparently looks, there's a solid trunk. But actually, it's full of leaves. Every leaves you take it out, take it off. Then at the end you don't get nothing. There's no any solid trunk of tree. So everything, it looks solid. If we separate one by one, we don't get nothing. It's empty. This is their own nature. So. So that's why between ordinary beings and the Buddhahood, apparently there is a big differences, but reality both are equally empty of inherent existence. So continuously he said, so the result was, what is there to gain and what is there to lose with things that are empty of true existence? In this way, who is there to pay me respect and who is there to abuse me? So that's why in reality, in our ultimate level, everything is empty of inherent existence. There is no good and bad. Our concept of good and bad is just conventionally. Conventionally, it means this good and bad we only sees who has an obscure mind, those beings who has an obscure mind, their mind is discriminated mind, not they are lack of equanimity mind. So that's why we discriminate. We see the differences. But from ultimate point of view, there is all are equal. So that's why. As ordinary beings, one of our big challenge is we are always we keep our mind under the extreme views. We like dislike, and homage and insult, respect and abuse. I would love to have respect. I hate the abuse, and I like gain. I hate lose, or so etc. So that's why our mind usually has a tendency to keep between attachment and aversion. It's a disbalance. So our mind is not in balance. So in the ultimate point of view, these all are empty of true existence, empty of inherent existence. From ultimate point of view, when someone respect, what's the reason to have? There is no any reason to have the respect itself. It's free of inherent existence. So if we gain a respect, what reason to there's no any reason to create craving, because it's empty itself. And if we abuse us, or if somebody not respect us, it's also same as it's equal empty. It's equal empty, and why we feel we feel upset. It's also from ultimate point of view, it's I would say it's equal empty, because so that's why from ultimate point of view, everything is free of inherent existence. So so right now we don't our vision is not fully developed, and our vision is, contaminated. Through this contamination, our, cognitions are obscured. We don't see clearly how it is. But anyway, if we believe in the dependent origination, if we believe in the lack of inherent existence, that belief make us, make our mind more, flexible and more tolerance. So we are not stuck in something, in the conventional, conventional concepts and conventional as less as we are, stuck in the conventional concepts. As much as as soon as we don't trust or we don't believe in those conventional concepts, and as soon as our mind, how to say, get clear vision and less obstruct. So that's why this is the reason that Lama Tsongkhapa himself prays to Buddha, because of this dependent origination. So we also follower of the Buddha, and we are longing to have long-lasting happiness and peace, inner peace. So we should follow this teaching. So we are in dependent origination, which verses we are 19 or 18?
We're on 20. We're at the 21.
21 religion. A Savior, you are an excellent speaker. Devoid of essence and form these arise that affect these uncertainties, complement each other with no contradiction at all.
Because we read it 19, 20 together.
20 together. Okay, now I think 20, 21. Okay. So the verses 20 and 21, dependent origination. Okay, praise of dependent origination. Lama Tsongkhapa, he said here, all of this is devoid of essence, and form this arises that affect. These two certainties complement each other with no contradiction at all. What is more amazing than this? What is more marvelous than this? If one praises you in this manner, this is real praise, otherwise not. So, everything we see is like external phenomenon or internal phenomenon. If we analyze through our ultimate perceptions, we are not going to find anything that has inherent existence. We are not going to like empty. The form is empty. Emptiness is a form, saying. So if you don't analyze, we just merely observing through the conventional mind. Then we see there is something. There is something. There is So that's why, like, the existence of samsara is the lack of essence, like a diet coke. Diet coke is everything is zero, but you are tasting something. You are tasting something. Everything that you taste is just how to say, meaningless, and there's no any nutrition which you can how to say, get any nutritions, right? It's a free.
Right.
But there's something. That something is just only the because of the conventional. From conventionally point of view, there is cause and effect. Then it's like the result of cause. Result of the cause. It's infallible. Means. So that's why. So it's a very apparently conventional and ultimate looks contradictory, right? There's contradictions. One is conventional and another is ultimate. But in the reality, you can't get ultimate without going through conventional. The conventional and ultimate are complement one to another. This is our challenging. We don't see the conventional truth and the ultimate truth in the same nature with the different identities. We don't see. So that's why we see we attract the ultimate and we neglect the convention. And actually we can't, if there is no conventional, we can't get an ultimate. So that's why, both are complementary one to another. Just, if you don't see the glass, we can't see the emptiness of the glass. The emptiness of the glass, we need to find through the existence of the glass. The glass itself is a conventional phenomenon. So that's why this is Lama Tsongkhapa also he said this is the the most difficult point when we are looking for the Madhyamika point of view. So, so it's a very but the Buddha he described everything based on emptiness, but he never refused the existence of conventional things. He says the things exist, but how it exists because of lack of inherent existent. If the things are lack of inherent existent, that things exist, how it exists interdependently. So all phenomena looks like looks illusory. It's just an illusory. But as illusory, what this means illusory? It means like we see something, and in reality it's a different. We see exists objectively, exists, but reality, nothing exists objectively. Everything exists subjectively. If the things exist subjectively, things exist, merely designations. So that's why it's. Meanwhile, we don't know how to, relate between conventional and ultimate. So still, our mind is, still we are not in Madhyamika. So as Lama Tsongkhapa said, it's a very beautiful. He says, like in the three principal aspects of the path, he says, when, with respect to all phenomena of samsara and nirvana, you see that cause and effects never deceive their laws. And when you have dismantled the focus of objectification, at that point you have entered the path that places the Buddha. So long as two understandings of appearances, which is undeceiving dependent origination and emptiness, devoid all of this, remain separate, so long you have not realized the inherent of sage. It means, when you see about the dependent origination, it makes you clear the emptiness. When you see the emptiness, it makes you believe in interdependence. That means you have a good understanding of the sages of the Buddhists. When you see the interdependent, you don't see nothing, emptiness. When you see the emptiness, you lost your belief in interdependence. That means you don't understand still. So that's why interdependent and the emptiness always need to combine each other. So that's why we have Buddha has a lot of qualities, extraordinary qualities. He is an enlightenment being. So we have we can praise him for many ways. But the best way to praise to Buddha is praise through the dependent originations, because through the understanding of dependent origination, then we can eradicate all our negative thoughts and all our wrong thoughts, all our purify all those mental obscurations. So, 22, right? 22 and 23. Being enslaved by ignorance, those who fiercely oppose you, what is so astonishing about their being, unable to bear the sound of no intrinsic existence, but having accepted dependent origination, the precious treasure of your speech, then not tolerating the roar of emptiness, this is, I find, amazing indeed. So it's a very, painful advice, as I said, once they see
the dependent origination, but still neglecting the lack of inherent existence, it's a contradictory. So once you believe the cause and effect, you must believe in lack of inherent existence. Without being lack of inherent existence, can't be exist as a dependent origination. So that's why there are a lot of people who are not following the teaching of the Buddha, who is not believing in Buddha, and then their mind is diluted and fully dominated by ignorance, dominated by their own ignorance, and if they oppose the Buddha, it's not that much. It's not that astonishing, or it's not that how to say. It's acceptable. It's not unacceptable. It's acceptable because their mind is so ignorant, and they are if they don't follow and they oppose, it's okay. It's acceptable. But as a follower of the Buddha, we believe in Buddha, and we see and we believe in dependent origination. Even if we believe in dependent origination, but there are, if they, refuse the lack of inherent existence, it's not acceptable. It's not acceptable. So it means the vision which they Vaibhasika, Sautrantrika, they hold, their vision is not a complete, not an infallible vision. It's a fallible vision because they believe in the cause and effect, they believe in dependent origination, but they don't accept the lack of inherent existence. This is more astonishing. It's more unacceptable because as if you are riding the horse and you are looking for horse, so the truth, it's always stay with us, but we are go to search the truth, because truth are so close, so simple, and it's always there. It's innate, actually, the nature of the truth. But we, so this why people like us, we all know, we all are longing to have a long-lasting happiness. But that long-lasting happiness, we know that we can't get this long-lasting happiness through the sensorial object, but we run always behind. We always run after the sensorial object, expecting to get long-lasting happiness. Even we know there is we can't get it. Nobody says the money can buy a happiness. Right? Always everybody. You don't need to be religious, or you don't need to be spiritual. You don't need to be practitioner. You don't need to be Buddhist. But whosoever you ask, you can get a happiness through the money. They said no. We know, but we run after the sensorial object. So why it's if somebody okay, those maybe it's not a relevant relevant example. So like those monks, they became monk since very young age. The whole life they are in a monastery. So they have a. It's okay to desire to eat McDonald's. It's okay because they don't know what is the McDonald's, what it contains, how it makes. So people like us live in the United States. We all know the McDonald's is not a healthy food. McDonald's is not good. Coca-Cola is not good, not healthy. But still we are hooked with McDonald's and Coca-Cola. We are just and all those science behind McDonald's. All the philosophy behind McDonald's, even we all know, but still we hooked. This is more astonishing. This is what Lama Tsongkhapa said. So that's why, as a Buddhist, we all know the long-lasting happiness we need to create from we need to create ourselves, we need to create within us. So if we know that we need to create within us, so why we are running after those sensorial objects? So that's why we are paradox, right? And contradictory. We behave so strangely, and sometimes our way of behave is like inexpressible. The truth find within ourselves, but we go out for search, same as like riding a horse and then looking after the horse. So so we all know this. The delusion is destructive. Delusion make us decisive, make us unhappy. But we don't mind to how to say create the more delusions. So it's if somebody have any idea that a delusion mind is a destructive mind, they are deluded, it's okay, it's acceptable. This is how. So there's a story like in the time of Buddha, a man went to Buddha and he insulted Buddha a lot. Buddha didn't say anything. This is a very common story and popular story. And he insulted. Buddha didn't react any against him. And then he started to spit to Buddha. Spit Buddha, and when he spit, so many of his disciples were very upset. But Buddha didn't, react against him, and he went. And then, many of the disciples said, Buddha, you are Buddha. You are enlightened, but you are too much. We understand when that man insulted you and you didn't reply, it's okay. But he started to spitting you, but still you keep calm and peace. This is, we don't understand. If you are as a Buddha, you can tolerance, but we can't tolerance against that man. Again, that's behave of man. And Buddha said, okay. He didn't feel much pain when that man spit him, because they don't know each other, but he doesn't know how, and he didn't know well the Buddha, and Buddha just didn't know where the man coming from, what kind of circumstances he are facing, and what kind of teaching he is following. So, but how to say? the things that make Buddha sad is his own follower are compromised to not following the delusions, compromised to not they compromise to not following their anger. They compromise, but still they follow the anger. That makes him more sad. Same as we sometimes we practitioner we need to be really we need to take precautions. We need to observe well all the time our mind. Otherwise, the mind is so tricky. So that's why Lama Tsongkhapa he said, when those followers who don't believe in Buddha, when they oppose the Buddha, it's okay, it's acceptable. But as a Buddhist, and we oppose the idea of the Buddha, even we know the things exist because of dependent or interdependent, and we still have a hard to believe in lack of inherent existence. It's a little acceptable. It's not really acceptable. So this case, we all know that we can't get happiness through the sensorial object, but still we run after the sensorial object. This is astonishing. We are so, and it's also that this is how it's our current situation. It happens. It's very true. If we don't taking care of our mind thoroughly or sincerely, okay, so now 20 what? 24? 24 and 5, I think. The door that leads to no intrinsic existence, this unexcelled door of dependent origination, through its name alone, if one grasps at intrinsic existence. Now this person who lacks the unrevealed entrance, well traveled by the noble ones, by what means should one guide him to the excellent path that pleases you? So, here it means those follower of the schools like Vaibhasika and Sautartrika, they believe in dependent origination, but they don't believe in lack of inherent existence. They believe in dependent origination, just they believe in just name of the dependent origination. So it's very hard to guide them to show the reality of the object, the nature of our reality, the nature of the origin, because the dependent origination is the only easy way to connect to get connected with the to get connected with the nature of the reality. The nature of the reality is empty, as we said before, right? So like form is empty, emptiness is form. So that's why it's if you are stuck in this kind of vision, like they believe in dependent origination but don't believe in inherent lack of inherent existence, then you can't get you can't understand the real message of the Buddha. So their teaching of the dependent origination make them like how to say the own they take medicines but they undigest the medicines.
They don't digest.
They don't digest the medicines. Actually, dependent origination is the medicines, but they're trying to take the medicines, but they don't digest the medicine. If they don't digest the medicines, they don't cure the disease. They don't cure. So that's why we need to improve our the mechanism of digestion, or improve the how to say we need to make our digestion better. The digestive system, we need to improve our digestive system. The only way to improve our digestive system is we need to keep our spiritual sensible, like faith and devotions, or all the religiosity, those practice the religiosity like the rituals. So there are a lot of morning prayer. So we need to, especially aspirations. Aspiration is a very important factor which the teaching the aspiration is very important to digest, that we can digest the teachings. Otherwise, teaching only stay as knowledge, just of course the reasoning, logic we should, but at the same time we can't lose our that's sensible of the religiosity. So all those religiosity is very important, like offering. So like those 7 before we practice, before we study, or we do the reading, we must pray. You must recite the praying like 7 limb, or the prayer of the 7 limbs.
7 limbs of all. 7 limbs of all.
The prayer of 7 limbs.
Yeah.
Like prostration, it's offering, purification, rejoice,
Yeah.
asking for the teaching, the dedication. All these are very important to improve our digestion systems. Otherwise, it's we don't digest such profound teachings and simple teachings. So now 26.
Mm-hmm.
Intrinsic nature, uncreated and non-contingent, dependent origination, contingent and created. How can these two converge upon a single basis without contradiction? So, like those schools, now there's a little bit debate, trying to neglect or trying to refuse the idea which Vaibhasika and Sautantrika, and also those ordinary beings who believe in an inherent existence, and trying to refuse, trying to reject those idea, reject or try. It actually is not a rejection. It's it's not an objection. It's a corrections. Namatsongkhapa, he tried to correct our vision because we believe in inherent existence, even if we see the dependent originations.
Mm-hmm.
So here, apparently or directly, he tried to correct the idea of the Vaibhasika and Sautantrika, but indirectly he helped us to correct our vision, because we also have this kind of visions. If the thing exists inherently or intrinsically, then they can't edit or modify it. They can't change the subject. They can't. It's not conditioned. They cannot condition the things, because things exist itself. Can't depend. It can't dependent on the other phenomena.
Mm-hmm.
As a dependent origination, it's a dependent. Then it's always arise or always all the dependent phenomena always arise. Dependent on other phenomena. Because so that's why it's called a dependent, right? As a dependent, they cannot be independent. If it's not independent, they need to depend the other phenomena, other conditions. So that's why they call it dependent originations. So, and one side, it's how can describe as a being as an inherent existent and independent, at the same time as a dependent. So they cannot combine in one single object, in one cannot combine without any contradictions. Right? Those who believe in lack of inherent existence, then the description of dependent origination is very easy. Right? The things are lack of inherent existence. So things are not inexistent. Things are existent. How it exists? It exists, dependently, or things exist interdependently. So that's why it's easy to describe those compositional factors, like compositional factors. But even non-compositional factors are also dependent originations. They originated by the dependent of their conceptualizations, dependent of the concepts. meanwhile, they have a mental concept. They exist as non-compositional factors. So that's why all the existent phenomena are dependent phenomena. They are originated by the dependent. They have the origination of dependent phenomena. So we need to know how to combine between interdependent and emptiness. So emptiness, it doesn't mean like nothingness. Emptiness differ the emptiness. Emptiness, I would say. Emptiness object the inexistent. Emptiness affirm. Emptiness gives the affirmation of existent. So 27, right?
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, whatever originates dependently, though primordially free of intrinsic existence, appears as if it does possess intrinsic existence. So you thought all this to be illusion-like. So likewise, all those, how to say, like illusion, the magicians, right? Those the magicians, when magicians, how to say, manipulate the object of the object of the magic, the audience, the public. Believe in what they sees, but actually it's a big difference what they sees and what it is, and they there's a very common trick of the many local magicians. They put the girl into the box and they separate it in two parts. They separate it in two parts. And sometimes they they put the saw,
yeah, chain.
The chair, yeah, saw, and they think like they cut it off the body, and all the publics believe, wow, the body of the girl separated in two pieces. They see they're separated, but actually they are not separated.
Right.
They're just a trick. So same as everything we see, how to say, solid. So we see the things are, how to say, solid, and things are intrinsic. Things exist itself. Things exist there how it is, but in the reality it's not. Reality it's empty of that intrinsic existence. So that's why Buddha said that all the phenomena are like illusion, like a arrow, and like a rainbow, like a mirage, like dreams. So that's why from the beginning, that means like through primordially, free of intrinsic existence, from the primordially or from the beginningless, it's the lack of inherent existence is like it used to be inherent existent, and once you realize the emptiness, then it it stopped to being inherent existent. Not like this. From primordially or from beginningless, it's lack of inherent existence. This is the reality. So that's why, based on our ordinary cognitions or our ordinary perceptions, all the interdependent origination phenomena, we see they exist objectively or they exist truly in but from the ultimate point of view, or from the Buddha's point of view, are not like this. He sees how it is. He sees lack of inherent existence. The things are lack of inherent existence. There is no any, see something and reality is another things. For our perception, we see inherent existence and in reality it's lack of inherent existence. So that's why, if the things Buddha don't see, we can say it's inexist. If it exists, Buddha must see, because he holds the omniscient mind. But everything we see everything exists intrinsically. So that's why our visions are fallible. Everything we see, we cannot make assure that how it is. So that's why our visions are fallible. So we see the things exist objectively, because we say, yeah, I see that objectively. I can touch and I can hear, I can smell. But everything we perceive, not necessarily to be infallible, because our perceptions are obscured and confused. So we don't. It's better not to believe in what we see, and it's better not to struck the object and try to go beyond the object. So don't believe in appearance, right? Don't believe in appearance, because the appearance deceives you. This is
appearance is deceptive.
Yeah, appearance is deceptive. Still we have time, right?
Yes.
Until what? Until 9?
9.
Yeah. Okay, so next version is 28 and 29, I think. 28 and 29 is true, right? Through this very fact, I understand well the statement that to what you have told, those opponents who challenge you cannot find faults that accord with reason. Why is this so? Because by the declaring these chances for verification and denegation towards things seen and unseen are made most remote. So no one, how to say, opposed the idea of the Buddha, because all the, how to say, statement that Buddha he made, based on reality, and it's very, logical and very, how to say, you can approve of the things, it's, as we say these days, like scientifically, actually, that because you can approve, even you don't, have a much realizations, but you can approve if your mind is objective and unbiased, and so it's easy to understand his statement, not in because through the statement of the Buddha, clarify all our exaggerations and underestimate, help us to liberate from exaggerations and underestimate. So sometimes we oppose the statement of the Buddha, but reality we cannot oppose him, because everything he says, it's like based on reality. No, 30?
31st, 30, yes.
Through this very path of dependent origination, the rationale for your speech being peerless, convictions arise in me, take your other, that your other words are valid too. So, through the understanding of dependent origination, we can make assure that everything that Buddha said is valuable. Even we all his teaching, it's how to say, it's infallible and valuable. So there is a teaching, evident. There's a different phenomena, evident phenomena, and occult phenomena, and very occult phenomena. So Buddha he talks about the material object which is very obvious or evident, and the occult phenomena is like the nature of impermanence, and the reincarnations. It's actually these are occult phenomena our ordinary perceptions can't see. But if we follow the statement of the dependent originations, then I don't see clearly, but I can trust Buddha. But everything he says, logically and sincerely. Also, like the result of the generosity is a prosperity. Result of the patience is the good looking, and also the law of cause and effects are very occult phenomena. So these all teachings, it's a little it's a not so obvious, not so obvious, but we can trust those teachings, because the statement that he makes to the origin or dependent origination is so infallible and it's so true. So Buddha is a valid being. It's infallible. So whosoever follows his path, then they will get a luminous mind and long-lasting happiness. For example, from 31, 32, 33. You who speak excellently by seeing as it is, for those who train in your footsteps, all degenerations will become remote, for the root of all faults will be undone. But those who turn away from your teaching, though they may struggle with hardship for a long time, faults increase ever more as if being called forth, for they make firm the view of self. Aha! When the wise comprehend the differences between these two, why would they not at that point revere you from the depth of their being? So, whosoever follows the footsteps of the Buddha, they liberate from all the degenerations, all those, they can dispel all the delusions. Because origin of all our suffering, it's from the self-grasping. Because whosoever follow the footsteps of the Buddha, they eradicate this, they liberate from this self-graspings. Self-grasping. So that's why it's that's why they achieve the state of liberation. Whosoever not follow the footsteps of the Buddha, so they they can't reduce their self-grasping, and they can't believe in they can't stop to believing in self-inherent existence. So they become more egoistic, and their ego is more bigger. That ego makes them very miserable and very intolerance. They can't. They become less resilience, and they become more intolerance. So whatever happen related with your them and theirs, they feel great suffering. They feel great suffering, and then they don't mind to take a action, take a violence action, and so even they admire the non-violence, but they behave violently. So that's why they always stay in cyclic existence. So that's why they always keeps innate delusions and intellectual delusions. So that's why it's aha. It's like it's extraordinary. So that's why Lama Tsongkhapa himself, he really, how to say, devoted to Buddha. Not that not only through the words. He feels that deep devotion because all the statement that Buddha makes, it really it guaranteed us to liberate from all the miserable states. We become our mind more kinder or compassionate and more luminous. So here it's a so if you see objectively, there is not any slightly influence because of your own interest and because of your own references, like I am Buddhist, so that's why I praise the Buddha, and the other teachers are not such a qualified teacher as a Buddha. No, there's not that. If you see objectively and unbiasedly, you see the differences in the qualification of the teacher. You see, it's because so there's the story of Aryadeva and his opponents. Aryadeva and his opponents, Lobepao, what's the name of, in Sanskrit, in Tibetan we say Lobepao, that opponents of Aryadeva, he used to be a non-Buddhist school. He used to follow the footsteps of non-Buddhist school, and they debated. They make their own statement, they debated, and finally Aryadeva won the debate. After Aryadeva won the debate, and then Aryadeva asked him to his opponent to staying in the Buddhist library. In Buddhist library, he locked into the library. Buddhist, it's full of Buddhist teaching. So as a scholar, so he started to read the books. He started to read all the classical textbooks. And then after some time, he converted himself as a Buddhist follower, and asked Aryadeva to take him out from the library because he was little staying long time in confinement, yes. He little bit burdened himself a little, yeah. So he said, I already convert myself to Buddha. I already convert myself as a Buddhist, because now I understand the differences between two teachings. So because he convert, because he sees all those quality of teachings. So that's why all the prayers that Lama Tsongkhapa he made, actually not being as a Buddhist, actually he sees the reality, he sees the So continuously he says 30, 34?
Yes.
34, 35, 36 I think. Let alone your numerous teachings, even in the meaning of a small part, those who find discernment in a cursory way, this being supreme bliss to them as well. Alas, my mind was defeated by ignorance, though I have sought refuge for a long time in such an embodiment of excellence. I possess not a fraction of his qualities. Nonetheless, before the stream of this life following towards death has come to cease, that I have found sight faith in you, even this I think is fortunate. So likewise we are. Everything we learn through the Dharma, we get lots of benefits, temporarily and definitely. But we have also, if we learn, deeply, and we understand his statement deeply, of course we're gonna get a lot of benefit. But our mind is limited, and we don't. Still, our mind is full of obscurations, foggy, and lots of negative tendencies. So we have a difficulty to understand. Also, we have been taking refuge to Buddha for a long time, but we don't still still we are distracted. We are not following literally all his path. We don't follow literally his footsteps. So that's why we just distracted many times. But despite of our distractive, but still we try to learn and try to follow. It's very fortunate. Even death comes before we realize. It's pity, but because of our believing and dedicating our time in the path, that strength or going to that the mental impression we received from the teaching definitely going to help us a lot. So continuously 30, 38? 37? 37. Among teachers, the teacher of the dependent origination. Among wisdoms, the knowledge of dependent origination. You who are most excellent, like the kings in the worlds, know this perfectly well, not others. So there are a lot of teachers. The best teacher is the teacher who teaches us the dependent originations. There are different kinds of wisdoms. The best wisdom is the wisdom of understanding the dependent originations, emptiness. And among the all the I would say masters, the Buddha is the greatest master, greatest teachers, because he himself realized the dependent origination and emptiness. Everything he teach us through his own experience. So that's why other teachers are not really qualified. So why he teaches like 30, 39, like, unless your teaching is such 38, right? 38 years. All that you have taught proceeds by way of dependent origination. That too is done for the sake of nirvana. You have no deeds that do not bring peace. So this is, the main core of teaching, or main, intention of teaching. The Buddha's teaching, the Buddha's teaching is that we can liberate from the suffering. We can, liberate the suffering, and we can, understand how to live without suffering. This is what he wants to promote us. His promotion of to live without suffering and live with a long-lasting peace and happiness. This is the only motivation Buddha Buddha, has. Yeah.
My question is, in a great master that has, like for example, in Buddha's direct perception, he can in his direct perception he can see, for example, like a human, right? We have cells. The cells has all the activities. So he can see all the phenomena have parts. He can see all the parts.
Yeah.
He can see the interactions of all the parts, and he can see all the parts. They're not only the parts, but like because they, like even the subtle or the smallest particles, they're dependent, like how they dependent upon each other and functions. So in a like a non-stop manners, because it's constant. There's no stopping, right? And so he sees this in all the phenomena. He's in all the phenomena in the mundane world and super mundane world.
Yeah.
So would that be the if you can see all the phenomena in that way, would that say that would it be the right understanding that what the Buddhahood is like? I mean, like one aspect of the Buddhahood, like in that state, that's what you are. Through your direct perception, that's what you are seeing.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it's like it's omniscient mind. You see everything in a single minute.
So, would you say that because these phenomena exist in such ways, it's a constant dependent upon each other's changing and manifesting and rising
future,
and right, Because of that, there's lack of, it's not permanent, it's not independent, it is, there's not that intrinsic or inherent existence because it's constantly changing, dependent upon each other.
Yeah.
Whatever comes to it would turn into something else. It's constantly changing. Like in Duja it says the Ngombo, right? Ngombo, the matter. Ngobo.
Functional object.
Functional object. It is rise and it stays and it. Yeah, at the same time.
Compositional factors.
Right.
It's like a born, stay, and cease.
Right. At the same time.
All the compositional factors, it's arise and so their moment of stay, their moment of cessations.
Right.
When it arises, so it's continuous.
Right.
Cease, yeah.
Right. It arises at the same moment is sustaining, but at the same moment is dying.
It's dying, yes.
It's just expression that it constantly.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So that's why the main intention and main our goal.
I have a question.
Yeah, please.
Good night.
Yeah, good
I
night.
have a question.
Yes, go on. Yeah. Yes, Miana, tell me. Do you hear me?
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you. Yes, please. Yes, what's your question? Yeah, you say
She can't hear.
turn off your microphone. I think there is the microphone sign is
Oh,
off.
she needs to turn on.
She needs to turn
turn
on
on
its
the
hearing.
mic. You can turn on for her. Just click on that on her picture. Just click on her icon.
Oh, yeah.
Craving and breathing.
Can you repeat, please?
You can hear me?
Now I hear you. Yes.
Yes. I want to know what are the words in English and in Tibetan for craving, grasping, and resilience.
Resilience, craving,
And grasping.
yeah, in Tibetan, right?
In Tibetan and in Spanish because I don't understand very
Yeah. The Tibetan is your Sipa Lempa Sipa, and like Sipa Lempa Sipa. Okay, in Spanish it's ansia, aferramiento y devenir.
Ansia is
Craving,
grasping,
craving. Yeah,
ansia, aferramiento is grasping,
is grasping. Yes.
yes, and devenir is resilience.
Devenir is how do you say crave?
Resilience? She asked.
Resilience? No, there's a three, right? Craving, grasping, and manifest or existent. For 12.
12 intervention. Craving, grasping, then you have becoming.
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 Becoming is devenir.
Can you repeat me?
Ansia is a craving, and aferramiento is grasping,
Grasping.
And becoming is devenir.
El devenir.
Yeah.
And resilience is what?
Resilience is resiliencia en español.
Silencia.
Resiliencia,
Okay.
resiliencia, ¿no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acabamiento y devenir.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I have another question.
Yes, please.
We said that, Buddha's teachings are, how did you say, are, oh, the word I forgot, our common sense, are so simple, of a thing that is so simple that we may complicate, but his teachings have no
A complex. Oh.
no, they are not complex.
Simple,
In
profound.
reality, they are very profound, and they are very valuable.
Yeah, very valuable. Yes.
Very have a lot of value.
Yes, yes.
Inquestionable, like something like that.
Like irrefutable.
Irrefutable.
Yeah.
That's it, the word. But as far as I know, he said at the beginning that before we accept the Buddha's teachings, we should analyze, make serious reflection, meditate, and put in practice. And when we see that in that practice we can see the real value of his teachings, so then we accept that totally.
Yes.
Is like that? How is that? Because well, some other religions or whatever say you should accept this. Well, they don't say, but it's supposed. But in Buddhism, we can first of all we have to do a serious reflection on that, analysis, debate, and all those things.
Yeah.
So before accepting totally,
Yes, yes.
or like that.
Yeah, this is correct because Buddha is very respectful. He always respects us, and we have our right to choose which path we follow. So we have a right to analyze and check before we compromise. Right. So when we feel good in this teaching, and we think that the teaching is good because it's available, it helps me, then we can compromise. This is like compromise with teaching to follow all his footsteps, right? First analyze and then compromise, not like first compromise and then analyze.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you all. So I think yes. Yes, please. Yes. Keep on, Mauricio. Yes. Yeah. Good night.
I have three questions.
Yes, please.
First, when you talk about emptiness, I just said that I said what is far from emptiness? What is beyond? I just said nothing is. I understood that nothing is beyond.
Yeah, because what is beyond emptiness is emptiness.
It's the same, but for us, it's like for me, it's like nonsense. Nonsense. I don't understand.
Yeah.
Because it's maybe God.
Yeah. So we're trying to achieve nothing. Because we walk without objective, without condition. Yeah. It's
difficult for me to understand.
yes. So you know what this means, unconditional love?
Yes.
Unconditional love is not expecting nothing, right? So the emptiness is unconditional love.
Thank you. That clears me a lot.
Yeah. The emptiness is unconditional love. So beyond emptiness is unconditional love.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Second,
Yeah.
about our diet.
Yeah.
Because I know now that Tibetans are not full vegetarian. They eat some meat.
They eat, yes. Tibetans, yes, they are vegetarian and they are non-vegetarian. Yes.
But in Tibet, it's necessary because I think that you don't have too much to feed.
Yes, because of the cold climate, yes. They don't grow much.
Other places where you have more food, how you can justify that you have to eat meat?
So this one you need to ask yourself, you need to ask your body, and Buddha always recommend us to be vegetarian, but our health is very important. We cannot make joke with our health, right? So it's something related with your health. Then you can eat. Like you can consume the animal product. If there's not any while you are consuming the animal product, you need to give thanks to the animal, and you need to know this meat is belong to the living being. So we need to always grateful the animal, and we need to think this meat is belong to one living being, and we are abusing because of our own interest that living being. So we need to purify, and we need to give thanks to that animal with awareness. So that's why it's related with your health. If there's not any health issues, then it's better not to eat meat.
I understand.
Yeah.
The last one is I was reading Pavonka's
The
liberation
palm of your hand. Yeah.
I found something a paradox, something contradictory that I don't understand.
Yes, please tell me.
In page 60 says that when Buddha was teaching about Tantra, he said he was teaching with
Concert, yes.
With
With the deity, yeah. It's concert, yeah.
Concert.
the maid, I think.
Yeah.
This is what I think.
Yeah.
And then this will bring me what we understand about Tantra in ordinary thought of common thought, things
Sexual, yeah.
of Occidental people.
Yeah.
What we second, in other Pavonkas, when he's talking about sexual relationship as action, you have to avoid. He restricted that sexual encounter. He
Yeah.
restricted a lot. But in the other hand, when he no, well, this is related with the Tantra with
Concert, yeah.
concept, yes.
Concert.
Yes. And third and final, it's when he talks about 8 virtues.
Yeah,
He
virtues.
says that virtues is like
yeah, I understand. Yes, yeah.
How to understand that? Because taras are very powerful
Deities.
goddess. Is that bad?
It's a male chauvinist.
Say that it is better to be a man than a woman.
Yeah.
100 years ago, I don't. Maybe that's the reason.
Yes, yes, yeah. Okay, then we go your questions order by order. So in the Tantra, the concert actually is not meaning of the real concert, physically concert with the desire and the sexual concept. It's the non-dualness, the union of non-dualness. There is no, it's beyond the sex, man and woman. It's a transcendent, it's go beyond all those, union of non-dualness. So then all the deities, when you reach in the Tantra, they deity with the consort and they know how to say, very seductive appearances. Some deities are very, how to say, wrathful deities. These all are like talking about non-dualness, okay? The union, okay? So as a monastery, because the Pabonka, it's a transcription, the palm of the liberation of your hand is a transcriptional teaching. He taught in the monastic people. As a monastic people, they take a vow to not having any physical relations. Like, how to say, voto de castidad, like the vows of, what's it called? Celibacy or celibacy, right? They are monk. They cannot, if they make any physical relation, they break their vows. Because they are renouncant and they are trying to overcome all the sensorial pleasure. Okay? So then the third one related with the woman body, female body, actually I think it's a culture influence. There are a lot of teaching, the culture also, I would say, make influence. In the old time, as a woman, they have more challenges. Because they cannot, go to the remote area, they cannot follow they have a lot of social pressure. Because since the very young age, their own family, how to say, obligate to marry, to find, and to, as a woman life in old time, it's a very challenging life. So it's a it's culturally there's a little bit, like, especially in Asian, now the West is a little different. Imagine like in the old time how to say, in your country, like South America, they have sacrificed the humans, right? They kill the young virgin girl to offering the god of the land, etc. So being a woman, it's a really difficult, not like this. So that's why they consider it as having a female body is a kind of obstacles. But nowadays it's changed. You don't need to follow such a teaching which is influence of the cultural influence. Okay, you can interpret. These are interpretable teachings. Yeah. Okay. Okay, very good. So anyway, so we couldn't finish the all verses, but it's okay. So most important is like we follow the steps, we follow the teachings. So the following the teaching is not we need to follow day by day, not occasionally. Like, so while we are following the teaching, the day by day, so it's good to have formal teachings or formal practice. So the formal practice as a formal practice, like it's always good to take refuge and generate the mind of bodhicitta, and then think about, like the dharani of the dependent originations, omida mahidu parvava, all the phenomena, omida mahidu parva hidum deshan tadatot hawata desam sayunido the ibamba de ma shamana iso. Think and meditate on this dharani, and then you have enough time also praise the praise of dependent originations, to reflect and pay pay respect and pay homage to Buddha and thank. And what else? So try to make your life more meaningful. The only way to make our life meaningful is continuously be kind and be sincere and be be follower of the footstep of Buddha. This is what, as a practitioner, what should we do? So then, during the informal practice, observe your mind and look after your mind, and everything we see, we think it's just illusory, it's just an illusion. As likewise, rainbow. It don't, grab firmly whatever we seize, right? And try to, rest in your ultimate state of the mind. The ultimate state of the mind is, it's a free of inherent existence. Everything exists dependently. So everything exists dependently, so our existence of well-beings, our existence of the wisdom is dependent on our kind and belief. So this is how make our life meaningful, and how make our life more bright. So we born to we born to we born to
degenerate time?
No, we born to growing and bright, make us brightened and make us growing our so that's why we always trying to growing our inner qualities, and bright our nature of the mind. This is how we should do. Then we all have our daily practice. We should follow those practice, and we never divert the luminous path. It doesn't matter whatever conflict it happens. It doesn't matter. It's related with the community. It's related with your teacher. It's related with your family. It doesn't matter. This is our human's issue. It's our human's problem. But we never divert with our spiritual path, right? Because our spiritual path is our inner growing. So we can't obstruct our inner growing, right? So that's why we keep firmly in the path, because the path is the main refuge, right? Rest of the objects are helpers. They help, and we should thankful and grateful to find such a nice and good helper and conditions. So we keep rejoice and we keep happy all the time. It doesn't matter whatever it happens, but we all have a right to be happy. And see, if you don't be happy, and now, when we are going to be happy? So this is I think summary of the teaching. This is the summary of teaching. So we all, I try to follow in this summary, and you all follow in this summary, like this summary. Okay, so thank you so much. I think we should stop here, right?
Yeah.
So tomorrow it's...
We have initiation, but it will not be broadcast.
Okay, anyway, then that's fine.
So this will be in...
Okay, so thank you so much for all your participating in this platform. So definitely in this week, as a teacher, as a students, we both accumulate a great merit. This all merit we should dedicate for our achievement of enlightenment beings and our longevity of teachings and longevity of all our masters and sanghas, and health, have a good health, and all sentient beings how to say,
Their happiness.
Find their own happiness. Anyway, okay, thank you so much. So we will offering mandala, short mandala. This ground anointed with the perfumes, taken with the flowers, Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon, I imagine as a Buddha land and offer to you. May all beings enjoy in this pure land. Idam Guru Rana Mandalaga Niyatayami. Okay, now the dedication, the merit. May all the precious mind of enlightenment not yet born arise and grow. May that born will not decline but increase forever, in order to follow the excellent examples set by the wisdom of Bodhisattva Manjushri and all the sublime Sumatabhadra. I dedicate all virtue of their peerless ideals, all curious pass into the 3 times have praised as supreme. This peerless dedication, therefore, I also surrender all goods of my activities to the sublime goals of Bodhisattva. May all sentient beings, our fathers and mothers, have stable happiness. May all the evil-born realm become empty forever. And may all the prayers of all the Bodhisattva, wherever they reside, be fulfilled. So, okay, thank you so much.
Thank you, Rinpoche.
Thank you.